Nunez from Texags.
Marcel, you just said it, never mind. Talk about your offseason and where you think you've made maybe the most improvements.
Well, I know y'all have also heard it just like I have, not a passer. But, yeah, I feel like I've had, tremendous growth in my passing this offseason. We've had some great receivers come in and, just having the O-line that we have, the running backs that we have, they've made it a lot easier for me to be able to sit back there and make these throws. And, the receivers we have now have made it a lot easier as well to make these throws. And I think I just feel a lot more confident back there, kind of finding ways to protect myself, knowing the offense a little bit better, and just being confident as a quarterback behind the O-line.
Some of the chatter behind the scenes, did it motivate your workouts? Did it make you what did it do for you this offseason?
It didn't really motivate me or do anything different for me. Obviously, as I go into each season, I know there's some things that I have to improve on, and I've been doing that since I was a kid. You got to keep growing. There's always different things you got to find to be better at, and I try to do that at every practice that I get a chance to. So yeah.
To the left side, second row, to Alex Miller from the Eagle.
I know you're at the Manning and Passing Academy. Was there anyone else that you worked out with this summer just on your own, maybe like a private trainer type guy? And what were some of the biggest lessons you learned from the Passing Academy and maybe whoever else you worked out with?
Yeah, no, I really didn't do too much this summer. At the Passing Academy, just obviously being there with, Eli and Peyton, you learn a lot of different things about ways to be quarterbacks, just how you approach the game. Peyton talked a lot about, how he kind of studied, and he also had John Gruden there talk to us a little bit. So, we sat in a room and listened to those guys talk about ball and what it takes to be a quarterback, how to prepare at a high level, and it was a really good opportunity just to be there.
To the left side, Tony Catalina from Statesman.
Marcel, obviously, everyone we talked to this offseason has talked about your growth as a leader and the steps you've taken in that. But for you, what did that look like? What tangible things did you do? What was the mindset when you said, hey, I got to step into this role, and what that looked like for you this offseason?
Yeah, I feel like for everybody it's different. For myself, I like to lead just knowing everybody in the locker room. I try my best to meet new walk-ons or new players whenever they come in the room, just to, put a name to a face. And I feel like that's very important, just building connections with your teammates so they know that you're going to have their back no matter what. Knowing the people inside that locker room is, something I've been doing since I was in high school. I could probably tell you everybody's name if you showed me who they were. Probably not off the top of my head. I probably couldn't say everybody's name on the roster, but if you asked me a person and showed me their face, I could probably tell you their name. So, that's what I try to do the best at. Being a leader, it's not always about, yelling, getting on people, but it's about having the connection so you know how to lead certain people because not everybody's led the same way.
Let's go to the right side to Carter Carrolls from Jacob 247.
Marcel, Coach Elko talked about how when they were recruiting KC that you went to a practice and when he saw you throw, he was like, okay, I kind of want to play with this guy. How much did that mean to you to hear at the time and when Coach Elko talked about it? And just what has KC shown this offseason?
Yeah, funny you say that because I remember that practice. I saw Casey there. I was like, yeah, I got to get this guy. I threw I think there was one period where I threw probably like 3 or 4 balls that were at least 25, 30 yards down the field each, like all back to back to back. So I was like, I gotta do my big one for this guy at practice, and it worked out pretty well. I went over there, after that period, and kind of just sat over there and talked to him a little bit, and he kind of gave me like the nod at that point, and I was pretty excited that he was going to come. But yeah, no, Casey's done a tremendous job this spring, this summer. He's a hard worker, and you'll never doubt the kid. And whenever he's coming out for practice, he's going to give 110% every time. And so that's something I really like about him. He has sure hands. He talks to me all the time and tells me, throw it anywhere, I'm going to catch it. So, and he's proven it. So, really excited to have him out there this year. He's going to be a really good weapon for us.
Let's go left side middle to Rob from Aggieland Illustrated.
Howdy, Marcel.
Howdy.
Lots of success on the recruiting front. As players, y'all do a great job of bringing guys in, obviously making them feel This is the place to be. This is family. So if I'm of course you don't recruit me, but as you have a recruit come in, what do you guys tell them? What is something that really makes them feel at home and this is the place to be and what A&M can do?
I mean, we don't really say too much, honestly. I feel like they just see the brotherhood in the locker room. You know, we do such a good job at just, you know, being friends with each other, making everybody feel comfortable. And I think that's what played a big role in my recruitment coming here. When I came here in that 2023 year, you know, all the people that came in the 2023 class were, I mean, it was me, York, Bravion Rogers, Dalton Brooks, Mike Tees, who's now not with us anymore. He's alive, but he's at another school. You know, a lot more people, but, you know, it was just a friendship you saw instantly when we came here. So I feel like all the recruits that are coming in now are seeing the same thing. And, you know, that's why we have, the number 3 recruiting class as of right now, 2026, which is pretty good. You see a lot of good players. They come in and bond with each other immediately. So I think that's all it is, just the family aspect of Texas A&M, you know, how good the culture is here, the 12th man. They all see it and then they notice it. So I think it's very important to them when they're deciding which school they're going to come to for college.
Let's go back behind the lights to Donna, and then Parker, and probably Jer.
Marcel, can you talk about your relationship with Armage and then just talk about what kind of leader he's been for this team?
Yeah, it's my cousin. Pretty good relationship. Yeah, no, he's been an amazing leader. You know, even when he's not on the field, he's always being vocal, and you love to see things like that from a veteran O-lineman. I just saw him in the locker room, gave him a hug. He asked me, "Are you ready?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And I told him, "Are you ready?" And he said he's ready. I said, "Dude, it's 3rd year of fall camp, dude. I'm getting a little old." he said, "It's my 6th year." I said, "Oh yeah, my bad." But yeah, you know, great relationship with that guy. Love him to death, and you know, he's going to be very important for us. You know, as a leader, he keeps everybody in check on the offensive side, defensive too, but mainly on the offensive side. And you know, very grateful to have him on the team.
Stay in the back.
Marcel, sticking over here. Going back to that wide receiver room, so many new additions in there. We even heard from Coach today that TK's been making a big impact this summer. What are the expectations from you for almost a completely new group for that receiver room and just the connection you have with them right now?
Yeah, my expectations are just for them to, you know, go in and learn as much as they can. Obviously, everybody's new, so I feel like they're learning at the same pace just about. And, you know, they've picked up on the offense pretty well. Speaking of TK, I mean, shoot, we get him on the field, he's going to be dangerous. That guy surprised me with his speed all offseason, and he's got some height, great hands. He's very quick. So, you know, he'll be a good weapon for Texas A&M in the long run, probably this year too, but definitely in the long run, he's going to be a very good weapon for us.
Staying on TV row.
Marcel, just going back, you mentioned that you were at the Manning Passing Academy and you were learning from Eli and Peyton, Hall of Famer, and, of course, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. What is the biggest thing that you took away from that camp that you're going to apply into 2025?
I'd say just Peyton really talked about watching film and, you know, kind of how he did it, different things he would look at. And I think that's, you know, something that I'm going to take into 2025 this season for sure. Just because, you know, there's levels to it. I feel like last year, you know, I was prepared. I watched film. I did all that stuff. But, you know, I feel like there's another gear, another level that I can take it to this year. Just being prepared for these teams, especially we get into conference play because they've seen me before now. Yeah, going in and watching film, being with Coach Klein, and you know, sitting with any GA I need to just to, you know, get some extra work in so I know what I'm doing when I get out there on Saturdays is very important for me.
The left side middle to identify yourself, please.
Hey Marcel, this is Diego Sainz with On Sports Illustrated. What does it feel like going to this fall camp as a main guy, you know, compared to last year going in behind Connor?
Yeah, it feels very good. I'm excited just to get out there again, play football. You know, fall camp's an exciting time. You know, might be a little long, but, you know, we're kind of a month away from the first game, which is really exciting because, you know, once you get in the season, I feel like it rolls by really fast. So just, grateful to have the opportunity to play football for another year. Grateful that a lot of these players are healthy now, and we're going into fall camp with a healthy offense, healthy defense, and, we can get it rolling this year.
Left side, second row to Alex.
You talked about in the spring how you wanted to gain some weight this offseason. Just where are you at right now, and is that the weight that you hope to be playing at this season now that fall camp's here?
Yeah, right now I'm a little low, sitting at 182. I'm trying to be at probably like 187 around the season, just because I'll go up and down. Trying to reach 183, 184 today. That was my goal for just the start of camp, because I know going into practice I'm going to lose a little bit, just water weight and stuff like that. I can put it back on, but yeah, sitting around that range right there. 190 was the goal, but there's still a little bit of time. Probably won't hit it just because we're going to be in practice and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm sitting around mid 180s right now.
To the right side to Olin Buchanan, the Texags, and Carter.
Yeah, Marcel, just kind of a two-part thing here. As you get more comfortable and confident in your passing game, do you think your running opportunities are going to decrease? And as you decide to run or throw on a particular play, is that something that as you play that it's easy to make a conscious decision, or is it more of an instinctive thing that you do when you decide that?
Yeah, I don't think my passing ability being better will affect how many times I run the ball, and it's definitely instincts whenever I run. But the defense has to make a decision at the end of the day. Once I get out of the pocket, they either got to come get me or they got to stay on the receiver, depending on what the coverage is, man or zone. But we got check downs. I got some people who can make plays once they see me run. We got scramble drill. So we'll see when we get in the season what it does, which decision they make, who they want to stop, but they got to choose one.
To the right side to Carter.
Marcel, your favorite thing about private jets, and what was that experience like taking some of your teammates to your camp back at your old high school?
My favorite thing about private jets, I don't have to wait for a flight attendant to come up the aisle and bring snacks. I can grab my own. What was the second question? The experience? Yeah, that was really good. Brightened some kids' faces that day. Being out there back in my high school, that was their first time. Dalton and York, they've been in Nashville with me before, but Casey, Jonah, that was their first time being in Nashville. Wes's first time being in Nashville, and it was all their first time seeing my high school, so they were very, excited. They came back out and said, "There's no way you shouldn't have been as good as you are," I guess because of the high school I went to. I was like, okay, thanks. But, I guess I was somewhat privileged. My dad put me in a good position, both my dad and my mom, growing up, so very grateful for that. But, yeah, we had a great time in Nashville, coaching up some kids and signing some pictures for them and, putting a smile on their face.
To the left side to Meredith, the Eagle.
Howdy, Marcel.
Howdy.
We heard from Trey and Coach about the importance of finishing not only games but also the season.
Mm-hmm.
What is something in particular you did in this off season that will help you not only lead the team through games but through the end of the season?
Yeah, I'd say I wouldn't say I struggled at the beginning of summer workouts. They're a little tough, but I feel like at the end of them, at the end of the summer, I kind of made a conscious decision just to, push a little harder. And we know strength coaches always try to push me as well, but they always say something like, "Marcel, you got to score a touchdown right here. It's fourth down," and I feel like I did a really good job of just pushing as hard as I could, trying to be the first guy to finish across the line, because I'm going to be the guy touching the ball every play before anybody else gets it. And flashback to Auburn, we definitely could have won that game, but I dropped the ball on one of the snaps, and I think that was critical in our 4-minute offense to the loss that we had last year, and definitely not going to do that again. Hopefully not going to be in that situation again anyway. But, yeah, I've done a lot of things this summer just to, try to emphasize that, you know, we got to finish. We got to finish in everything that we do, you know, going to class, being on time for meals, being to the weight room on time, finishing the lifts. And, you know, everybody's heard it from Coach Elko and our captain. So, you know, we're harping on that really hard this year. And we're going to make a huge difference in the fourth quarter.
Let's go left side front. Tony?
Two-part question, obviously. How comfortable are you in Collin Klein's offense, and just how collaborative has it been to build it around you and your strengths?
Yeah, I'm really comfortable. I mean, I was comfortable last year. You know, we haven't done too much to change it. You know, just what kind of the talent we have receiver-wise. We've altered a couple of routes, but, you know, there hasn't been too many changes in the offense. But really comfortable in it. You know, I've kind of build some continuity with these receivers and the running backs just based off of, you know, routes we have. And it's good that we had a whole spring this year to do it after a little kind of a foundation year last year. But, yeah, we're really excited going into year 2 with this offense. It's going to be very explosive, like we've said before, and, you know, there's going to be a lot of points scored.
Any other questions? It's a wrap.
All good.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys.